All right. So the first thing that we saw yesterday was the architecture of SAP. How does things work in the background? Okay. So we see that SAP works based upon the three-tier architecture or tier 3 architecture. So the reason it is called as a three-tier architecture is because of three layers present in it. So the first was presentation layer, second is application, third is database. So presentation layer is nothing but the screen that we see, which is used to provide an input and see the output. Then application layer purpose is to execute or process all the logical expressions. Whatever the logic that we build will be processed on top of the application layer. Then finally database layer, which is used to store your data, and it will push the data to the application layer whenever a command is sent from the application layer to extract the data. Okay, so overall the flow starts from presentation layer and it ends with presentation layer. So the command is sent from presentation layer, the command is processed in application layer. If the command requests a database extraction, then it will hit the database. The data gets extracted into application layer. It will be processed in the application layer and the final output will be seen in the screen. Okay, this is in general the complete flow of the architecture. So when we talk about the difference in ECC versus HANA architecture, so HANA is the new upgraded version of SAP. So ECC is the older version, S4 HANA is the new upgraded version of SAP. Okay, so the primary difference that you see in terms of architecture is the layers remains the same, the functionality more or less remains the same. The only difference is in ECC system or in ECC database you cannot put more load on database. Okay, because that would break the system if you put more load on database, whereas in your HANA system you have the flexibility to put more load on database. Okay, so this is the primary difference of between our architectures, how it works behind the screen, right? So then we see the differences between the ECC versus HANA databases, like how is it different, what benefits did we get with HANA system, what were the limitations with the ECC systems and all we covered. Okay, so first of all, in ECC system we had normal databases or third party databases. So these databases were mostly SQL databases or Oracle databases. Okay, whereas in upgraded new S4 systems we'll have HANA database. So HANA database is created by SAP themselves. So till ECC, SAP used to use third party databases. After evolving into S4 systems, they created their own database with a name called HANA, and this HANA database works with the concept of RAM. RAM means random access memory. So it is an in-memory database. So it uses the memory power in order to have faster processing power, right? So in ECA system, we have a row store table concept. Row store means the search will happen in a horizontal manner. Whenever we want to pull the data from database tables, the search will happen in a horizontal manner, left to right. Whereas in column store table, the search will happen in vertical manner, top to down in that column wise. Okay, so ECC system is, row store table is in a row manner horizontally, column means in a column manner, vertical manner. So because of the above two reasons, ECC system has slower processing power. It is very slow, not totally slow, but in comparison with HANA systems, ECC is slightly slower, right? And in HANA system, since we are having in-memory database with the column store concept, it is far more better when it comes to extracting the data. Then ECC system had multiple category of tables like transparent, pooled, and cluster tables, whereas in HANA system, these were replaced with only one category called as transparent tables. So pooled and cluster tables are removed in HANA system. Then in every ECC system, no matter which table it is, every single table is a row store table. Okay, every table, existing tables, even if you create new database tables also, all of them will be row store tables. Whereas in HANA system, By defaultly, every table is a column store table, but you have the flexibility. You have an option to change it to row store table. Now, when to use row store, when to use column store in S4 HANA systems, I'll teach you when we get into the next chapter, data dictionary. At that point, we will create our custom tables, new tables. At that point, I'll tell you exactly. Okay. Then what is a client? What is a server? So server is a channel or a medium through which we can connect it to an SAP system. Okay. Then client means if I want to divide my SAP system into multiple parts. In that case, I will use client to bifurcate my one single SAP system into different parts. That is client. Okay. Then some keyword introduction to ABAP. So how the keywords looks like. So we said that ABAP looks like English. To justify that, these are some data manipulation or data extraction keywords that we use. So first is select. So select keyword is used to pull the data from the database, extract the data from the database. Then update. Update is used to change the existing data. Okay, update means what? Change. General definition of update in English is change. So change the existing data. Then we have insert. Insert means addition, adding a new entry. Okay, so insert is used to add a new entry into your table. Then modify acts as both update and insert. So it will first try to change the existing data. If it is not possible, then it will add a new entry to your table. Okay, it acts as both update as well as insert. Then finally delete. So delete is used to delete the data in our tables. Okay, so this is general introduction to ABAP, how the command looks like and all. Okay, then what is a table? What is a database? So table or a database table, we call it as database table or DB table. DB means database. Okay. So database table is used to store the data in the database in a tabular format. Okay, in a tabular format. Then database means it is nothing but a memory unit, a storage unit, which is used to store your organization data. That's it. Okay, it is simply a storage unit which is used to store your organization data. That is called as a database. Then we've seen ABAP workbench objects. So in SAP we have two types of objects: workbench object and customizing object. Session is being recorded, correct? Yes. Yeah. Two types of objects: workbench objects and customizing objects. So all the workbench objects in SAP are owned by ABAP team. So we are responsible for creating, changing, deleting all the workbench objects of ABAP of SAP. All the customizing objects of SAP are dealt by functional teams. So customizing objects means system configurations. Okay, those are dealt by your functional teams. So as an ABAPer, you will never do the configuration. As a functional team, they will never do the development. So each team has their own responsibilities. Okay. Then landscapes in SAP. So no matter which project you get into, which region it is, implementation, support, rollout, upgrade, whatever the project it is, every single project will have a minimum of three landscapes: development, quality, production. Development means all the development work. As an ABAPer, every single development work. When I say development work, it could be creating, changing, deleting. Okay, creating an object, deleting an object, changing an object. All this comes under development. So any development work should be performed only in development system. We cannot create, change or modify anything in quality and production systems. Not at all possible. Okay. As an ABAPer, you will only work with workbench objects, and workbench objects cannot be modified in quality and production systems. Not at all possible. We can modify data, but not workbench object. Modifying data is not responsibility of ABAPer. Your functional team does the modification of the data. Okay, done. Then the purpose of quality system is to test the development. Okay, I've created something or I changed something, some object. Then it should be tested thoroughly before moving it to production system. So this testing will be done in quality system. And the testing will be done by both your functional teams, also from the end user client. Both will do this testing. Then production system is the live system for any company. And as you know it, we should never ever modify anything in production system. We should be very careful when it comes to production system. Done. Then different categories of objects, right? We have workbench objects. In workbench objects, again, when you create it, you can create a workbench object as a local object or a transportable object, anything. Okay, either local or transportable. So local objects are only created for practicing. Okay, if you want to practice anything, in that scenario you will create a local object. These local objects cannot be moved to quality and production system. They can only be created in development system and cannot be transported to target systems. Target system means quality or production system. Okay. Then transportable object means it can be transported to quality and production system using a transport request. Okay, we call it as a TR. In real-time projects, we call it as TR. The abbreviation of TR is transport request. We use a transport request to migrate our development work to quality and production. Then we saw differences between local and transportable objects. So local objects are always stored in a temporary package. Today I'll tell you what is a package. So local objects are always stored in a temporary package called as $TMP. TMP means temporary. Okay. And transportable objects are always stored in a transport request, TR. We call it as TR. Then local object will not create any TR. No TR is needed for a local object. But for every transportable object, there has to be a TR. Without a TR, you cannot create a transportable object. Then local objects, these can only be created in development system and cannot be moved to quality and production. Transportable objects are created in development system and can be moved to quality and production system. Then local objects are only created when you want to practice or test anything before actually doing the development work. If you want to just check whether it is correct or not, do it as a local object. And once you feel like the local object is working correctly, you can change the local object to a transportable object. It is possible. Okay. Once you create a local object, the local object can be converted into a transportable object. Totally possible, no problem. Okay. And transportable objects are always created in your projects in order to meet the client requirement. If client has come to you, I mean to your functional team with a requirement, then it is always a transportable object, not a local object. Okay, because if client is requesting something, that means they want it in production system, and if they want it in production system, we have to transport it to production system. And how will you transport it? Via TR. If you need a TR, it has to be a transportable object. Okay, done. So any doubt before we begin with today's class? Any doubt from previous class? Anyone? Fine, I'll take it as a no. Done. So what is a package? So package is nothing but a folder which is used to store your objects. Okay. See example. Uh, take your PC, for example, PC, laptop, whatever. Take it as an example. Let's say if I give you a file, okay, some document. If I give you, you will save it somewhere, no, in your PC. So no matter wherever you save it in your PC, it will always be in a folder. Correct. Let's say I give you one document. You've kept it in desktop, on desktop. Even desktop is a folder. If you open up your PC, see every single thing here is a folder. Correct. Even your desktop is a folder, downloads is a folder, document is a folder, picture is a folder, everything is a folder here. Correct. So similar to that, everything that you store in SAP has to be stored in a folder. No matter what it is, where it has to be in a folder only. That folder is called as a package. Okay, that folder is called a package. So package is nothing but one folder in which our objects are stored. That's it. Simple. Okay. Then categories of packages. We have three categories of packages: local, standard, custom. Okay, local means we see in the previous line of this. All the local objects are stored in your local packages called $TMP. Okay, that is a local package. Then standard packages. So these standard packages are created by SAP, and we should never ever make any change to the standard package. Never. Okay. So then custom packages. So custom packages are created by ABAP team, and 90% of the time we will only work with custom packages. We will store our developments only in the custom packages. Okay. We should never change or save anything under standard package. Right. So I said 90% of the time because the remaining 10% of the time you might use a local object, a local temporary package. But standard package, you will not even use it. Like maybe you might use it once in a year. That's it. Very, 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 very rare. Okay, very rare. But every single day you will use custom package. Done. Then transport request. What is a transport request? What is a TR? Okay. So TR is a request that gets generated in only development system. You cannot generate a TR in quality or production system. I mean, it is possible to create, but normally it is not allowed. Okay. No project will allow you to create a transport request in quality or production system. No project. Okay. Every single project will only allow you to create a transport request in development system only. You cannot create anything in quality or production. Not possible. Okay. So let me just show you how a TR looks like. But every single TR, no matter which project you get into, will have a separate naming convention. So this is that naming convention. So it will start always with the development system name. So in my case, I took example as DE1. Okay, if DE1 is my system name, it starts with DE1, then there will be K. Okay, a K means something. We don't know what K means. Every project will have this K. After K, you will have a number, a unique number, which will be generated automatically by the system. Okay, let me show you in practical. So let me connect to the server once. Okay, as said yesterday, you will get your server details once your registration is complete. And this is the also this is not an old server. This is the highest possible version of SAP. SAP 7.7, or we call it as 770. This is the highest possible version of SAP, most upgraded version of SAP. Okay, so this is how your TR will look like. Okay, see how is it starting? See, my current system name is, what is my system name? A4H. Here you can see, no, A4H is my current system name. This is a test system, so it's named as A4H. Normally in your projects it will be development, some DE1, DE2, DE3, like that. Depends, every project will have separately. Okay, but see, A4H is a system name, so the TR name started with A4H, correct? A4H, then K, then a unique number. Okay, and this number is auto generated. You don't need to manually give the number, it is automatically generated. It is like a transaction ID. Okay, whenever you do any transaction, you will get an order ID, transaction ID. No, automatically system creates it. So this is like that. System itself will create this TR number. Okay. Any doubt? Anyone in this slide? Packages or categories of packages, or what is a TR?
It is no standard package start with Z.
No, standard pack. I'll tell you that. Okay. What is Z? What is its next? You know, you're an ABAPer, so you know this. But standard
Yeah.
packages don't start with Z normally. It's with a, between A to X all most of the times. Okay, I'll not answer your question completely because if I answer it now, everyone else will get confused. What is
Yeah,
the
yeah. Okay. I understand that.
yeah? Okay, anyone else? Okay, next types of transport requests. Okay, what are the different types of TRs in our system? So we have two types of TRs. See, I told you that in the beginning when we discussed about ABAP workbench objects, I said there are two types of objects, workbench objects and customizing objects. So similar to that, we have two types of TRs, workbench TR and customizing TR. So workbench object means or it should be saved in a workbench TR. Customizing object means it should be saved in a customizing TR. Simple. Okay. So I said that only ABAP team will work with workbench object and functional team will work with customizing object. So blindly remember that you will always create a workbench TR. You will never create a customizing TR. You might create, but very less. Most of the situations, 99% of the time, you will only create a workbench TR. Maybe that 1% you will create customizing TR. I will also tell you that 1% while you will create it later. Okay, 99% of the time we will only create workbench TR to save workbench objects. Customizing TRs are used by functional teams to save the system configurations. Okay, done. Then transaction code, one of the most important concept in SAP. Without transaction code, you can't do anything in SAP. It is also most easiest one. It's very simple. Okay. So transaction code also called as T code. Okay. In project, we normally call it as T code. Okay. So T means transaction. So see, the reason transaction codes are involved, the purpose of a transaction code is to navigate from one screen to another screen. Okay. One place to another screen. For navigation purposes, transaction code acts as a shortcut. Okay. Now, the reason why SAP introduced transaction code is, see, consider any software, for example, take any software in the market, your wish. The minute you open the software, you will get a coding screen. Any software, Java, C++, Python, SQL, anything, HTML, whatever you take, you name it. The minute you open the application, you will get a coding screen. You have to write the code. But in SAP, you will not get that because SAP is not only just a coding software, it is a business development software, integrated software business development, right? So that is the reason this is the first screen that you will get in SAP. But in this screen, can I write my code or can I do anything? Can I create any database table from this screen? Not possible. Not at all possible. This is just first initial screen of SAP. So if I have to navigate to my place, see, as an ABAPer, I will use SAP. As a functional consultant, they also use SAP. So if I also have to use SAP and they also have to use SAP, then there has to be a way that I can only work on my objects and they should only work on their objects. Correct? They should not work on ABAP objects. I should not work on functional objects. So this is where your T code will come into picture. So T codes will help in navigating to different screens. Done. So example. See, I'll give one T code SE09. Okay, I'll hit enter. See, it took me from that screen to this screen. Correct? From first screen of SAP to this screen of SAP. What is this screen? What is this T code? What is SE09? We'll see later. But the purpose is from initial screen, from the first screen, it took me to this screen by using the T code. That is the point of a T code. Done. And T codes are always given in the command field. This is called as a command field. You see a small search bar kind of thing on the top left corner. You can collapse it like this. You can enable it like this. Okay, by using this arrow, you can collapse and enable it. Right. So this is called as, sorry, this is called as command field. We provide the T code in a command field. Okay, see this. And there are many T codes available in SAP, but most of the T codes start with SE and SM, right? So every T code that is starting with SE are ABAP T codes. Okay, SE. After SE, there could be any number, right? But Everything that is starting with SC is ABAP T code. SC means system engineering. System engineering. E stands for engineering. SM means system maintenance. And all the SM T codes are functional T codes. Okay, there are some T codes related to functional teams also. Those are starting with SM, right? So if you ask me, like, if you're worried as in how many T codes are there in the system, do I have to remember all the T codes in the system? Not at all required. At most, as an everyday activity, you might use 5 to 6 T codes per day, maximum. Maximum. That's it. And as an ABAPer, you might have to remember close to 15 to 20 T codes. That's it. Very simple. I'll give you a file also. In that file, all the ABAP T codes will be listed properly. Okay, every single T code is listed properly. Every single ABAP T code is listed properly. Okay, so just remember those. But every day, normal activity, you will hardly use 5 to 6 T codes. That's it. Not much, not more than that. Okay, that is a transaction code. Then, what are the types of T codes? So I have two types of T codes. First is standard, second is custom. Okay, so standard T code means, again, similar to standard packages, standard T codes are also created by SAP themselves. Okay, and we should never ever change standard packages or standard T codes. Never. Then custom T code. These custom T codes are created by ABAP team and we can change it with our free will as per the requirement. Okay, you will never get a requirement to change standard T code. Never, never. Mark it. Never you will get, right? But you will always use standard T codes. Standard T codes are used to navigate to different screens, but you will never modify the standard T codes. You will use them, you will reuse them, but you will never modify them. You will never delete them. Okay. So by this time, you should understand that whenever I'm using the term standard, it means created by SAP. No matter what object it is, be it a workbench object, be it a T code, be it a package, whatever it is, if I am using the terminology as standard, standard means created by SAP. Then custom means created by ABAP consultant. Custom means created by ABAP consultant. Standard means created by SAP. Now, once you log in into SAP, there will be many objects in the SAP. Ton of objects, thousands of objects are there in SAP. Now, how will I differentiate which is standard, which is custom? I said that you should never change standard object. You should never change standard T code, never change standard package. But how will you know whether it is standard or custom? Right? Very important. So this is how you can understand it. So first of all, every single standard object or every single, first let's understand custom. Every single custom object can only be created by using Y or Z. You cannot use anything else. Okay. If you want to create a program, if you want to create a table, whatever it is, it should start with Y or Z only. You cannot use any letter between A to X. All the letters between A to X are reserved by SAP, right? Reserved by SAP. You cannot use those at all. We can only use Y or Z. Nothing else you can use. Okay, let me show you one example. Okay, let's take one standard table. I'll just show you one standard table. This is a standard table. This is related to finance standard table. Okay, see with what letter is it starting? B. B means it is a letter between A to X. It is not Y or Z. Starting letter is B. Correct? So see in the attributes, if I open, who created it? Last changed by SAP in 2022. Correct? So no matter which object you open, whichever is starting with you know LIPS, for example, this is also one standard table. SAP. SAP. Someone has manually changed it. This should not happen. Okay, this is why I tell people not to change it. Someone has manually changed it. This is standard only. Someone changed it. Okay, but in real time projects, you will not see like this. Someone changed it recently in 3 months, 4 months ago. because there are students practicing it, they are all always curious, so they change it normally. But normally you in real times you will not change it like that. Okay, so like this. So every single object, whatever the object it is, if it is starting with any letter between a to x, it is standard. And any table which is, or any object which is starting with y or z, is custom. Simply you can just look at the name and identify whether it is standard or custom. Okay, looking at the name itself, starting with a to x, standard, y or z could be custom. Okay, that is how you can identify. Then, any doubt till this point, anyone? Okay, I'll take it as a no. So we'll discuss about the shortcuts with our T codes, then we'll conclude today's call. Okay, so shortcuts with T codes. So you already know what is a T code now. T code is used to navigate from one screen to another screen. Okay, that is the purpose of a T code. Now with the T codes, there are some extensions, there are some additions. Okay, first addition is /n plus T code. Okay, see this one, /n plus T code. Okay, so what /n will do is, see, imagine, let's say I am in one T code, SE11. This is one T code. Okay, so you can see the T code name on bottom right corner here also. Okay, I'll keep it active always, so you can see it here, SE11. Now I want to navigate to other T code. Okay, I am in this T code now. I am in this screen, but I want to navigate to any other T code. So in that case, how can I navigate? There are two ways to navigate. Okay, first way is replacing existing session or opening a new session. Two ways. I can either replace my current active session or open a new session. So to do this, we have shortcuts. Let's say I want to replace this existing session with a new session, with a new T code. Okay, in that case, I'll give /n SE09 new T code. Okay, this is a new T code. SE09 is a other T code. Currently, I'm in SE11. I want to go to SE09. Enter. See, what did it do? It took me to SE09 and it has replaced my existing session. Correct. See, only one session is available. Okay. See, if I again give SE11 /n SE11, enter. See, again it replaced my existing session. SE09 is replaced with SE11. Done. This is replacing. Now /o SE09, enter. It took me to transport organizer SE09 T code. I'm in SE09 T code, but it has created new session. It did not replace my SE11. SE11 is still here, but it created a new session for me, SE09. Okay, like this I can create any number of sessions. See, not any number of, actually in this server you can create any number of sessions, but in real time projects you can only create 6 sessions. You cannot create more than 6. No matter which project you get into, every project have a limitation of 6. You cannot open more than 6 screens in parallel, not possible at all. Okay, again I gave /OAC11, it created one more. Again if I give, see, one more. So like this I can create up to 6 sessions in real time. In this project, in this server, you can create any number of things. Okay, see, like this. This button is used to new window. That's it. Okay, see, I opened these many, but in real time you cannot create these many sessions. You can only create 6 in parallel. See, I have many here, right? Like this. Okay, these are two shortcuts. /n is used to replace existing session with a new session, replace existing T code with a new T code. /o is used to replace existing T code with a new T code, replace existing session with a new session. Okay, simple. Then final one is /n ex. Okay, see, n is to replace, o is to create, ex is to log out of your sessions. Okay, example, see, now I am having how many sessions? These many. Correct, approximately I'm having 8 sessions. So if I have to log out, see, how I have to log out is I have to close each and every session like this. Close, 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 See, after all the sessions are closed, this is my last window. Correct. See, all are closed. This is my last window. When I close my last window, then it will ask me to log off. Do you want to log off? If you click on yes, you will be logged off. This is one way of logging off. Second way is, now imagine I'll again reopen multiple sessions. Okay. I again have these many sessions, close to 8 again. Okay. So instead of manually closing each and every session, like how I did earlier, I'll write the command /n ex, enter, done, logged off. All the sessions are closed. I had 8 sessions open, all the sessions are closed, and I logged off also. Okay, this is the shortcut to log off, /n ex. So you can either close each and every individual window manually, or simply pass the command /n-ex, enter, you will get out. Okay, two ways to do it. Done. So let me once open the documentation. Let's see if I've covered everything or did I miss anything when it comes to introduction. Okay, I gave you introduction. Okay, I gave you this also, how all these are controlled with the real-time scenario I gave, right? With the chocolate factory example, how sales works, how material procurement, manufacturing process, packaging, storage, all that. This is similar to that. Then three-tier architecture, server, client, and all other ERP vendors. These are some other ERP vendors. Then presentation application database layer. Then this is the initial. Okay, these are all ABAP commands. Then this is the initial screen of SAP. Right, I have just shown you first screen of SAP. Then what is a command field? I told you this search bar top left corner that you see. This is called as command field. Okay. Then what is a T code? I've just shown you. And what is a standard T code? What is a custom T code? Okay, see, in most of the projects, the customer object name starts with Z. So I told you that you can either use Z or Y, but again in between Z and Y, 80 to 90% of the projects use Z. Okay, 80 to 90. Some very few projects they use Y for some reason. That's their wish. Okay, but most of the projects use Z. So even in our training also, we will always use Z. We will not use Y, because as I said in the introductory class itself, you will get a project exposure here, not simply a mere training exposure. That's why we will use Z. Okay, then these are the shortcuts I've just shown you with SAP. These are some T codes. So I said you right that you will hardly work with 5 to 6 T codes per day. So these are your common T codes. 11, 38, 19 like this. These are some common T codes that you will use everyday activity. Okay. Oh, I did not show you SC80. So this is a very important T code. Let me just show you SC80. Then introduction will be completed with SC80. Okay. Let me log back in. Okay. SC80 is a T code. So SC80 is a very powerful T code. So it is known as the central point of entry for any workbench object. Okay. See, what does it say here? Welcome to the ABAP workbench. Okay, welcome to ABAP workbench. So the point of this is you can create any workbench object by using this. See, package, program, function group, function module. You don't know what all these yet, but at a later point you will understand all these things. Okay, but we can create all these things by using this one single T code. Okay, rather than using all these T codes, you can only use SC80 also to create these. But people don't use SC80 much. They always use separate T codes only. Okay. But see, from this point I can create anything. This is called central point of entry for creating every ABAP workbench object. Okay. Simply from this drop down, we will select a name. Like example, if I want to create a program, select a program. I'll give the program and I'll hit create. From here only I can create it. Or else I can use a T code also. Okay. Anything is fine. But people normally use T codes. They don't use SC80 in real time. So just to show you that this is a powerful T code, I have opened this, but we will use normal T codes only, because instead of using normal T codes, if I every time use SC80, then you will not get habituated with other T codes, right? If I every day use these T codes, then you will also get habituated with these T codes. For 3 months, if I every day open these T codes, then you will definitely remember these T codes, no doubt. Correct? That's the reason we stick to T codes rather than SE80. Okay. Then how to create a package? This I'll show you tomorrow. Okay. Creating a package, very simple. It will take not even 1 minute. Creating a package won't even take 1 minute. Okay. How long is it going to take to create a folder in your laptop or PC? Not even a minute, no? Same thing in SAP also. It will not even take a minute. Okay. So any doubt up until now, anyone regarding the subject that I have covered, or in general also, if you are having any query, you can feel free to ask. Okay. And your registration, once it's completed, we will be sharing you the documents also via your email. So once your registration is complete, we'll be forming a batch. Once the batch is formed, we'll take all your email IDs and these documents will be shared to you. Okay, no doubt. Fine then. That's all for today. Let's reconvene on Monday. Okay. Happy weekend. Bye.